Welcome to a introduction to the chapter called Eco or Ego. Now, this title is a little bit provocative, meaning that it can really challenge the way that we see this issue when it comes to climate change and how the nature around us is being affected by our choices. And in this chapter, I would like you to go through your habits, your ways of doing things, and really put a lens on if they are helping our climate today or if they are actually harmful to our climate. And I don't want it to be a moralization, meaning that I don't want to point at things and say this is wrong and this is right, but rather that you make some conscious decisions of how you would like to live your life. After all, it is our everyday choices that really affect the way that our planet is being treated. Small actions become habits. The way that we live our lives every day, they matter. And which side do you choose most often? And here we have to be a little bit strict with ourselves and to think, okay, do I actually choose eco or do I choose my ego sometimes? Because eco, it stands for reusing, repairing, maybe walking instead of driving our car, and to sharing. And some examples of that can be simply to use a reusable cup rather than a plastic cup, to go by bus or bike instead of choosing the car, or to have lights off, for example. While the ego stands for convenience, speed, wanting more, and waste. For example, single-use cup, short car trip, and buying something new. Now, it's not wrong to choose ego once in a while, but if ego is always our choice, then we might have to reflect on how we spend our time and how we live our lives. So think about this question, reflect on which eco habits do you have when you look at your life? What can you see that is actually good for the environment? One aspect I know that the people in Sweden, myself included, has a problem with is our shopping habits. We have a culture of buying a lot and to consume a lot of clothes and a lot of things, and we maybe not often enough ask ourselves the question, do I want this or do I actually need it? And just asking that question before you click on something online and buy it is quite helpful. It might actually stop you from buying some things. Is this something you want or something you need? Do you really need it? Or is it only for the satisfaction of having it? And the second question should be quality. Is this something that will last or will it break down in the next 6 months or so? Is this something I can use over years or only a few weeks? You can also think about if you can buy it secondhand instead of new. We have a lot of good secondhands in our small town and overall in Sweden. We're quite good at recycling things, and I think that's something that we should embrace. I know the marketplace on social media and so on are places that a lot of people actually buy secondhand things. So maybe what you're looking for is actually something you can buy that has been used before. Or you might even be able to repair the thing you have at home that has caused this need. Have a look at if you can repair it, or maybe you can have someone else repair it for you. And of course, we can always see possibilities, and we have to look at these things before we just buy things. It's not wrong to buy things, but I think we have to make a conscious decision before we actually buy something. So think about this. What do you check before you buy something? Do you check your need or want? Do you check the quality, if you can buy it secondhand or if you can repair it at home? Do you check the cost? What do you have a look at to make sure that you are sustainable in your shopping? Because after all, it comes down to this sustainability. What could work for you and our society in the long run? Think about transport, think about power, and think about your everyday habits. Of course, this is a bit political, what we think and what we really think matters in our society. But I think that no matter what party you vote for, in the election, I think that we all can embrace a consciousness of how we live and what our everyday can look like, and be conscious of how we treat our surroundings and our planet. So one last question to reflect on before we end this little introduction. What is easy and what is difficult when it comes to making sustainable choices? And that is something we will discuss further in this chapter. So thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to discussing this with you.